Hello, not that much, Jess. Hey, can you? How are things? Happy New Year to you, by the way. Let's see if I can fix this here. I'm I'm working to get through another page of Solitude. I took a little break over the holiday. I gotta get back to it. What was that? Is it not hearth? Anguish of his heart. Heart. There we go. Horace. How are things in Germany? Oh, no greatness there. There are smiles up. There we go. Leave it like that. Favor. Doesn't like that comma or the spelling? I guess it's that old style favor. Let's go with a more modern spelling then. Now let's come down here to the subtext. He's talking about this Tusculum Villa. I wonder where that is. Let's go find out. It's in Italy, I guess. Tusculum is going to take us to Tennessee. Looks that way. Not in Tennessee. Although that's interesting. Tusculum, Italy. Maybe it's because it wasn't formerly, it's something else now. Maybe that was its Roman name. Yeah, I think that's, see, it says Frasetti. Oh, you're saying there's a lot of Omicron going on in Germany? Ah, there you go. There you go. See, Tusculum is a medieval city, so that's why it's not showing up. It's this. Is this its more modern name now? Let's get rid of this. This Frassati. We should be able to find some Roman. Let's see if we get rid of this. Shouldn't we be able to find some Roman? Oh, look at this. Zero gravity Roma. I was just thinking we should be able to find some Roman stuff here, right? Though that doesn't look very old. I bet there's chock full of old. Well, of course it would be. It's Italy, right? Chock full of old Roman stuff. Have you contracted it yourself? Not that much, Jess. The Omicron, if I'm pronouncing it right. Which I guess that's a Latin. Isn't that a Latin letter? Smiles of. Let's continue this. Down here. Oh my goodness. Look at this. How can we possibly read that? What does that mean? Look at that. Let's go down a line, drop down to 8.2. Well, we're already in 8 points, so we have to bump this up to 10 points. There we go. What? Am I on the wrong page now? What have I done? Oh, there we go. Oh, this is part of the main. This is part of it, so that was okay. That should be 10 point there. Now we're going to drop down to a new line and drop that down to 8. Not that much. Just says, I just found that Tusculum was a term used for cozy villa around 1900. Interesting. That would fit. Okay, because what he's talking about here, so that look at that makes sense, right? Because he's talking about here, you can see the highlight a bit, Tusculum Villa. So he's talking about Cicero retiring back to his villa. So what you just found makes perfect sense. Neat. Okay, let's see if we can figure out what this is. Oh my goodness, let's increase that. We're going to need some magnification here. That's probably too much. Oh my gosh, what is that? Let's see if you can help me figure this out. Maybe the previous page will help. 20,000 Carthaginians. That's what it is. From Carthage. So because it's carried over from the other one. Carthaginians. Hey, it looks like the spell checker liked it too. No Omicron for you yet. Good. I'm glad to hear that. 3 jabs done. Just 2 for us. Oh, we need to all go and get our 3rd. Hey, can I ask you a question? Can you hear this? There's some music playing. Are you able to hear it? I just stopped it. I think my system is messed up a little bit. Carthaginians dead upon the field of battle. I bet there's a period there. Let's make this a little smaller here. Okay, good. There we go. This victory, comma, no audible, huh? Okay, so yeah, something's definitely up with that. Wonder what's up with that. Let me take a look in the settings. Oh, there goes Rudy. He's getting mad. Rudy. Okay, let's carry this on. Thank you for checking. Not that much, just for helping me check that. I'll work on fixing that later. Oh, Rudy, come here. Rudy. Hush. Rudy. Okay, this victory, while it produced so this victory, while it produced to Rome an advantageous peace, comma, okay, so I misspelled procured and honor. Let's go with the conventional one. This victory, while it produced to Rome an advantageous peace, procured for the victor the honor of a triumph and the appellation of Africanus. So his name was, he received the like a surname, surname kind of thing, of Africanus to commemorate his victory in Africa, North Africa. What do you think that is? A few years afterwards, he obtained the consulship a second time. And what is that? Passing into Asia. That's Asia. Passing into Asia, comma, defeated Antiochus. Who is that? Antiochus. Let's find out. No. He was a king. So Antiochus IV, Epiphanes. He was a Greek Hellenistic king of the Seleucid Empire from 175 BC until his death in 164 BC. He was son of King Antiochus III the Great. His original name was Mithridates. He assumed the name Antiochus after he ascended the throne. So this guy beat him. Asia, he defeated Antiochus. Did I spell it right? Antiochus. Got it. Rudy. It's okay. He defeated Antiochus, returned to Rome, and, by the What is peculation? What does that word mean? He was impeached of peculation. Peculation definition. Misappropriation of public funds. Misappropriation, especially of public funds. I've never heard that word. Peculation. Interesting. But he was impeached of peculation. Okay. Before the people by... Good gosh, I can't even begin to read that. By the tribune. I don't know what that is. It's completely gone. Let's leave it like that. I see a comma at the end. We'll highlight that in yellow as something requiring deeper investigation. Look at that. So at the end of that sentence, there's a clear period right there. But then the next sentence begins with a lowercase b. Could that just be sloppiness on the part of the translators or the typesetters back then? Remember, this document is over 250 years old. Okay, let's read that. A few years afterwards, he obtained the consulship a second time, and, passing into Asia, defeated Antiochus, returned to Rome, and, by the enemies his greatness and virtues had created, was impeached of peculation before the people by the tribune, and that's some tribune's name. I'll probably never get that, at the instigation of Cato. So that's clearly the end of a sentence. Let's start with an uppercase. We're going to work to fix this. But he defended himself successfully against the charge with that high spirit which marked all his actions. Okay. Disgusted with public life, he retired to his villa at, what the heck is that? Liturium? Okay, is that a place? I checked the original German print. It has various sentences starting with a minuscule. I don't know whether that was some artistic thing or not. What? You have access to the original? I see your quotation marks there. German print? Thank you for checking. Wow. This is incredible to be able to go to the source like that, so to speak. It has various sentences. How not that much, Des. How accessible is this book in German? I mean, is this something that you could actually go to a bookstore and buy like a copy of, or I mean, because it's like almost impossible to find in English. Starting with what does that mean? A minuscule. I know minuscule means small, but I can't quite get what that means in that case. Hold on, I want to see what you're referring to there. Your English is so good, by the way. Maybe the word minuscule means something else. Maybe I've got it wrong altogether. Doesn't it mean very small? Extremely small, okay? Or in lowercase letters as distinct from capitals, minuscule script. It has various sentences starting with a minuscule. So you're referring to the lowercase letter there, right? It has various sentences starting with a minuscule. Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying that in the original, this is not uncommon for him to have started the sentences with small letters like this, right? I noticed that myself. It's online, yet the foreword is different. Interesting. I guess it's possible to buy a hard copy. Okay, we understand that. Just because I think wasn't this originally written in German? Wasn't the author German? I know he is Swiss, but I don't know what language. You told me before about how in Switzerland they can have multiple languages. So what you're telling, what the gist of what I'm getting from you is that I should be on the lookout for sentences starting with a minuscule, with a small letter, right? And we would say in just common English writing, English speaking, we would say a lowercase letter. It is written in German. Okay, so it was originally in German. Okay, interesting. So you are my man on this. You got access to the original. Zimmermann is Swiss. Yes, I knew that, but I wasn't sure because I remember in Switzerland, you and I talked about this before. People can have different languages, right? As you told me before, like Swiss German, French, and there was another language. I think there was another language you told me about. Maybe it's Swiss German, French, and there was a third kind of a provincial language I think you mentioned before. So I wasn't sure which language was his original. You are so helpful. I wonder what this. Okay, what is this word here? Villa at is Liturium. Is that a place? Do you think? Not that much, Des. Boink. Let's see if we can find it. Doesn't find it that spelling. Let's see if Google will know better. Not lithium. He had a villa at, what is that place? Italy. Okay, could this be it? Liturium, Italy. I see places. Make sure I'm getting it right here. See, that's so hard to tell. It's like an Liturium. If you have a chance to look at that, not that much, Des, be much appreciated. I can't quite make that what that is. And thank you for all you're doing. Where? He cultivated his what? His lands in peaceful privacy? There we go. it's like when you encountered words like that, lands that you can't even read like that. It's like coming to a speed bump in the road and deciding instead of trying to go through slowly, just gas it and fly over the speed bump, right? Lands in peaceful privacy. And okay, so disgusted with public life, he retired to his villa at Lithuanium, wherever that is, where, like an ancient Roman, he cultivated his lands in peaceful privacy and died 180 years before the birth of Christ. Sounds like a good way to end one's life in that kind of peaceful retirement. Okay. Birth of Christ. What is that? After his victory over Syphax? The second war broke out between Carthage and Rome in 218 BC. That seems too early to have been it. Okay, let's see if we can find any instance of our man Africanus. No. Could that be it though? So you're saying, oh, hello, vor.ngo. Looks like a URL of some sort. What is this? Let's see if we can find this person's name. Just trying for Scipio. There he is. Okay. After the Romans general Publius Cornelius Scipio, there we are, there he is, was victorious in the Battle of Ippi, he sent his friend Syphax, however, refused to ratify any treaty except with Scipio. Okay, good. So we've got it. Okay, so I think we've got it right here. Not that much says, not that much about Lithuanium, might be an old Germanized word for a place in Italy. Wow, wow, you are just a wealth of information here. Thank you for checking on that. So I think we're good now for this word right here. It is, I had misspelled it. It's Syphax. At least that's the more current spelling. And not that much says, for instance, the Germanized Latin word for Lazio is latium. The Germanized Latin word. Interesting. Hey, not that much, Death. Can I ask you a very pointed question as a German? So when you're, how does it feel as a German to do you know how the impressions that the Romans had of, they were afraid of you guys, right? I mean, you guys, but they kind of see the impressions that I get is that the Romans thought of the part of Europe that you were from and beyond as like this off the map, scary frontier, and which you guys practically came and were you almost took over Rome. I mean, they were right to be afraid. I mean, you guys were scary and fierce. But there were lots of Germanic tribes right at that time. How does that feel? I mean, to I guess I can ask myself because I have German ancestry as well. I mean, to have, to have occupied that place in history. Of course. I mean, that's ancient history. I mean, and I know, and by no means wish to impugn the German people. It's just that it's interesting to have played that role as basically as the barbarian hordes. There, I said it. Okay, we've got this phalanx thing correctly. How does that feel for, I wonder? Okay, comma. Is that perceiving? Persevering? Persecuting? Let's try preserving. No, what is that? Pursuing? I don't know what that is. Is that the double S? Being two words in a row. I just have no idea what that is. Yield with too much indulgence. To what is that? Privation? No, it can't be privation. To the passion he had conceived for his captive. Oh, I got the answer I was asking for. I never thought about that. A huge part of contemporary German self-awareness is not to be proud of the past because of a lot of shit happens. 1900, 1945. Yeah, I understand. Do to that end, just do people in Germany like even? I mean, you have such a rich and deep history. I mean, that whole part of the world. I mean, sure, I understand what you were mentioning about the the first half of the 20th century, but would you say that German people are more just you know con- thinking about the present and enjoying life and being self-aware, and that's how I perceive the Germans as being very progressive and self-aware from my ignorant perspective here, you know, on the other side of another continent. Okay, here we go. Thank you for answering that question, by the way. He had conceived for his captive. Hey, hello, little five. I am somewhere lost here in this sentence. After his victory over Sphinx, perceiving whatever the hell that is, I don't know, yield with too much indulgence to the passion he had conceived for his captive. Oh, we've got a good word I can do. Sophonisba. Good gosh. Cicerio took took the king aside. Excuse me. Pardon me. Saying, believe me, comma, we have much more to fear at our age. Okay, let's see if we can digest this. Can't digest this quite. Let's get this in. After his victory over Sphinx, and I don't know what these two words are, yield with too much indulgence to the passion he had conceived for his captive somebody. Cicero took the king. You want to come in? Hold on, the dog wants it. Cicero took the king aside, saying, "Believe me, we have much more to fear at our age from the indulgence of excessive passions than from the sword of armed enemies." Okay, the last part of that is clear. What could this be? After his victory over Sisyphus, we got that one, perceiving, I think that's perceiving. I think I get it. Perceiving. Let's see if we can figure out who this is. Maflana? I don't think we're going to get this. Let's look at the original. Oh. Meninif. No, I'm not going to get that. I'm going to need to go to the source for that one. Could this be wield or yield? I don't know. Too much indulgence. With too much indulgence to the passion he had conceived for his captive. Let's see if we can find out who this is. That is that's very clear. SOPHONIF or SBA. Let's try this with an S. There we go. Oh, it's some beautiful woman. Sophon Isba, 203 BC, was the Carthaginian noblewoman who lived during the Second Punic War and the daughter of Hasdrubal Gisco. She held influence over the Numidian political landscape, convincing King Syphax, there's our word there, we were looking up that word earlier, to change sides during the war. And later, in an act that became legendary, she poisoned herself rather than being humiliated in a Roman triumph. Okay, so good. He conceived for his captive, for passion he had conceived for his captive, so took the king aside, saying, "Believe me, we have much more to fear at our age." So interesting. We have a little bit of a reference to an interesting historical anecdote, historical fact, perhaps. Manessa, okay. So not that much. Just says Massinissa. Let's try that. I like that better than what I've got. Massinissa. Let's look that up. Do you know what that is? Could we have a bingo? Look at that, King. You looks like you got it. Let's see if it lines up with the time. Okay. Yeah, the time matches up. Also, and there's various spelling. Was an ancient Reddit there in Numidia. Numidian king best known for leading a federation during the Second Punic War, ultimately uniting them into a kingdom that became a major regional power in North Africa. Okay, much of what is known about Messina, however you pronounce it, comes from Livia's History of Rome, and to a lesser extent, Cicero's Scipio's Dream. As the son of a Numidian chieftain allied to Carthage, he fought against the Romans in the Second Punic War, but later switched sides upon concluding that Rome would prevail. With the support of his traitor, with his erstwhile enemy, he united the eastern and western Numidian tribes and founded the kingdom of Numidia. As a Roman ally, Massinissa, however you pronounce it, took part in the decisive Battle of Zama in 202 BC that effectively ended the war and Carthage defeat. He also allowed his wife, there she is right there, a famed Carthaginian noblewoman who he had influenced in Numidian affairs to Carthage's benefit to poison herself in lieu of being paraded in a triumph in Rome. Congratulations, not that much deaths. You nailed it. Nothing but net. I am impressed. Let's get that down. Now, there's a couple of spellings here. Let's go with the lead spelling, right? Shall we? Which is a single S. Massinissus. Okay, great. Let's take out the yellow. Thank you so much. This is like we're doing scholarship here. Collaborative online scholarship. After his victory over Sphinx, perceiving Manasseh. Now maybe we can get that word. Is it really perceiving? Okay, now that we know what that is, that's a person's name. Let's see if we can go back to the text and figure out what this really says. After his victory over Sphinx, perceiving what is this word? It just sounds like it's not perceiving. Persecuting? After his victory over that, I feel like we're really close to getting this sentence down. Now, so it's talking about Africanus. He had the victory at Sphinx. Something about perceiving Massinassas, who's the king, who and Africanus has taken his wife, Sophronisiba. After his victory over Sphinx, perceiving Massa yield with too much indulgence to the passion he had conceived for his captive Cicero. Okay, so you're saying that the German article in Wikipedia says it's 2 S's. Let's go with that, just like you had originally. Thank you. Interesting, very interesting. So I put the double S's in there, and I'm telling Google to remember this word. Add to dictionary, not Google, but telling word. Still, I'm not clear on this sentence. So he's saying after his victory over Sphinx, perceiving Manasseh with too much indulgence to the passion he had conceived. Could that be wield? No, that's not wield. Yield. I don't know about this word. And I don't know about this word. I think if we could, it's like a puzzle. If we could figure out what these two words mean, let's change that color. It's not used. Oh boy. Oh boy. Sorry, Mama. Rudy, come here. So I'll just leave it yellow. So I don't know what those words are. Okay. Believe me, we have much more to fear at our age. Okay. Passions and armed and swords. Okay. He who by his wisdom I think we got it. All right. So then, he who by his wisdom has happily learned to curb his inclination, has acquired more honor and accomplished as should be as. No, he can't. And accomplished a much more important and glorious victory than that which we have gained over Syphax. Good God, that is incredible! What a sentence! That one sentence right there. That is, according to my good life, that is the principle of temperance and the principle of wisdom. Two principles: principle of temperance and the principle of wisdom. Right there. He who by his wisdom has happily learned to curb his inclination has acquired more honor and accomplished a much more important and glorious victory than that which we have gained over Syphax. I could use that. Do I have anything for the principle of wisdom? I mean, let's see. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. So I'll open the manuscript. You typed that twice. Did I type what twice? Let's take a look. What did I type twice? What, can you let me know what word I typed twice? I'll fix it. Thank you for pointing that out, Gerald. And welcome and Happy New Year to you. Okay. Or maybe I typed that twice. That is the word that. Oh, I did. There it is right there. You weren't saying you typed that twice. You were saying you typed that twice. Thank you. Okay, now let's take a look in The Good Life and see if I've got room for that quote. Let's see. So this is the manuscript for it. And let's see. There's a principle called the principle of wisdom. Wisdom and fortitude. Let's see, because there it is. Have I got a quote there? I do not have a quote there. Okay, that's room for a quote. Let's add that in, shall we? Let's go back in. Bang. See here. And let's open back up the other Word document here. We're going to take this. We're gonna have to wordsmith it a little bit. Well, the first thing we're gonna have to do is let's bring this over here. We're done with the we've reached the end of the page, so we're done with that. So let's bring this up, and that's way too big. And thanks again for that help, Gerald. Boink! And it didn't go away. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to incorporate this wonderful quote into the book. So just so you know what I'm doing, hold on. No, you need to add that, then before that. Oh. Goes victory, then I did two that's where I should have done a than that. Okay, I just added that in. Thank you, Gerald. I appreciate it. So you can see what people are saying. There we go. Thank you, Gerald. I appreciate that. And so just so you know what I'm doing here, bring this up. This is my book, The Good Life, which is the sequel to Going Alone, which you can see on the shelf there. This book still needs a lot of work, and I have this really rough way of publishing books. I get them to a rough state, and then I make them available to the world. They're still not ready, and I learned this from Going Alone, which I published after writing it for 3 years, and then I spent 3 years editing it. So anybody that has an early copy of Going Alone has a piece of junk, because it's a much better than I worked on it for 3 years, editing it and refining it. Now I'm doing the same thing with this. So one of the things is on the principle, there's a chapter called The Principle of Wisdom. Let's see if I can find it here. I probably won't. Oh, I'm almost. Public speaking, social principles, just a little bit. The principle of maturity is what it's called. So here it is. You can see there is the beginning there. Now, most of the chapters will have like a little quote at the top. If I can find a good quote that'll work. And boink. You can see, so here's the actual, I'm going to add this quote here. Lafayette, you're a software project manager even with your books. Yeah, I guess I am. I use an agile. I use the agile. I get management approach. You know, where I've got epics and epic stories and sprints. That's funny. You're right. Gerald says you're welcome. Thank you. I do appreciate it. So the first thing I want to do, I want to add this quote. Now, so see, this is one of the differences, right? So, for example, it says 10 here, and in the book here, it doesn't have the 10 there. It's all just kind of random. Let's see if I can find a chapter that has a quote in it, because I need to just copy that. That's a quote from something else. Project manager for my own books. This is a long chapter. Okay, there it is. See, the Pirate Ride has this quote from Oliver Wendell Holmes. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to borrow. So I have the syntax all correct. I'm going to borrow this whole thing. It's actually more than that. It's really important that I do this right. If I don't do this right, it messes up the formatting for the whole book. I'm going to grab this first line here. This is hard to do. So I'll grab that. Control copy. Scroll on down, back on down. La 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 la. Okay, there we go. I'm going to make that a little smaller so I don't mess this up. Okay, and I'm going to literally paste this in here. Bam. Okay, now I'm going to change this to 10, and I'm going to grab this quote from over here. I'm not actually going to do that. I'm going to write it out, because I'll blow it if I do it. If I try to change it otherwise. See, the Word is really particular about its formatting, and wherever possible, I like to explicitly type things in. He who, and I'm going to have to change the words or add a footnote here. He who by his wisdom has happily learned to curb his inclination. So I'm tempted to change, because he says here over here, then that which we have gained over Sifex. So this is Cicero talking to Africanus, right? But I can't have that context in here. Should I take liberty with the quote to change it just a little bit? Then that which we have gained over victory in battle. Which we have gained over victory in battle. What's he going to do? Sue me? Okay. Cicero. Let's see if we can look this up real quick. Okay. Let's look up Cicero again. And I got to wrap up soon. I think Emiko's got breakfast in just a little bit. Scirio Roman. Am I getting it wrong? What? Let's see. Scirio Roman. Why am I getting it? Why am I not getting anything for that? Roman Empire. What is coming up with that? Why am I not getting anything with that? Put this aside right here. Okay. unless I got it wrong on the original. Let's see. Scipio. I did get it wrong on the original. It's Scipio. It's our friend Africanus. Scipio took the king aside. He's talking to. Oh, now this is helping to make things sense. So Scipio is talking to Massinissa about his Massinnissa's wife, Sophonisipha, whatever. Believe me, you have much more to fear at our age from the indulgence of excessive passions. The sword of armed enemies. He was led by the happy. Okay, so that's who he's talking. So it's Scipio. Now it all fits into place. Scipio Africanus. There we go. Let's go ahead and add his applied surname there. It's all coming together. Let's bring it back. Scipio Africanus. Let me write it in here. Scipio Africanus. Now, I'd love to know your opinions about what I'm doing here. Okay. So let's take this out. Let's remove this stuff up here. Let's put our formatting bars in. Bang. Okay. We're going to remove all of this. Bing. Now we've almost got us. Hold on. I don't trust that. Was that supposed to have a line at the top? See, this is where if I don't get this formatting right, I'm going to pay the price when I publish. Okay, so look at that. No line above. Okay, so I've got to take that line out. La, 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 la. All the way back down. Almost there. There it is. So how do you take this out without losing everything? Just like that. There we go. Bang, bang, bang. There should be a blank page, and there is a blank page. Good. Okay, good. So now we got it. Good. Now formatting looks a little weird, doesn't it? Let's get rid of these. Bang. Okay. Skip. Did I spell it wrong? I sure did. Scipio. Scipio. There we go. Okay, not that much says I really baffled by your enthusiasm to dig so deep into this. I would be too lazy. I guess it's just what makes people what people like. Right? Some people like to play video games, right, for hours and hours, which I don't enjoy that. But I enjoy delving into literature and history to no end. Okay, let's see. So let's see now. What do you think about this? I'm tempted to change the sentence. There's two ways I can do this. I can keep the sentence as it originally was, and then add a subtext, like just to explain what this is, or just take a little creative liberty and change it, which I'm more inclined to do. He who by his so this is. Oh, and I need to change it. The principle of wisdom. Or is it maturity? Can't remember my own damn principles. I think I chose maturity. Yeah, it's the principle of maturity because wisdom sounded pretentious. Let's bang. There we go. The principle of maturity. He who by his wisdom has happily learned to curb his inclination has acquired more honor and accomplished a much more important and glorious victory than that which we gain over victory. Let's change it. Let's take out all the sense that he's talking to someone else. We gain over victory in battle. There we go. I'm going to leave that just like that. And so look at that. I made it to the bottom of the page, did my transcription, and I also added a nice quote to the book going alone. And with that, I think I better stop. It's just over an hour. I better stop for now and go have breakfast. So not that much. Gerald, a little 5, thank you for joining me. I might be doing this more later. I'm just going to try to do this more randomly whenever I have the chance to do this transcription. Have a good day, everybody, and welcome to 2022.